I just did a video, and then I was like, I'm gonna go live, see if anyone hops in. But this is gonna be just a little self-care check-in. Some things I'm noticing in my own world, and some tips that I wanted to share with everyone, just kind of regarding what's going on, because there's definitely a lot occurring. So first thing, of course, is we're just gonna get out the smudge and just cleanse the field here. Making sure we're keeping our energy body nice and clean. We're maintaining this level of self-care and self-love, because there has been a lot of noise in the field, in the collective field, as a result of everything going on. So first off, I want to talk about that, when we're going through these big collective shifts, the amount of noise that can start to enter the field, especially for those of us that are very energy sensitive or are clairaudient, you might hear this a lot going on. Past 48 hours, it's been really, really noisy. And really having to focus on, first off, is making sure we're practicing really good energy body routines towards cleaning up our own field. But also taking count for what is collective noise and what is personal noise that we're deprogramming. So the one thing that I'm beginning to witness, and I've heard other people discuss this, someone I follow, Lisa Transcendence Brown, talks about this with us, and it's important that I'm discovering this on my own level now, is that we've got personal programming that we hold, that we clear, or wounding, traumas, whatever we want to call it. But we also have a level of collective programming that we cannot fully clear from the physical body until the collective is ready to clear it as well. So what's been occurring for me is a reemergence of programming that I've cleared at an individual level, but now that we're clearing it at a collective level, it's showing up at another layer to be dissolved. So for me, it's becoming more aware of what is mine and what is the collective's, and what is my collective role in clearing this from my own physical body as it's occurring. And so I wanted to talk about, there's an old video that I have called Neutralizing Triggers. And I did the video probably 8 months ago, back when I was in Minnesota. And I wanted to bring it up here as a resource right now for clearing off the energetic charge in the field as a result of the clearing. I woke up this morning and it was super chatty and noisy in the field. And normally I will work with the tree networks to soften the collective noise. But I found that for some reason it just wasn't working like it normally was. So I worked with the energies of gold and orange, to just shift out my own individual connections to the collective noise and towards softening it. So this Andara comes into play, and it's the reason I grabbed it today, was to work with the energies of this Andara to assist in shifting out any noise that we're hearing in the field as a result of the up-leveling and the clearing that's occurring. But to also talk a little bit about the importance of us honoring energetic boundaries, empathic boundaries, but really taking care of our energy body and having a good, healthy energy routine. So when I wake up in the morning, the first thing that I'm doing is making sure that I'm clearing off everything from dream state, everything. And so I use Palo Santo, I have yerba as well, and sage. So whatever smudging tool you want to grab, definitely my number one go-to in the morning. Some people don't like smudge that has smoke, because of family, or because they don't like the smell, or gives them a headache. And so another thing that you can use is essential oils, or you can use crystals as well. So I use my crystals a lot in smudging my field, but making sure that I'm cleansing all of my energetic connections. Big important ones too are the hands. I've found too, armpits as well are really key for clearing right now, and a lot of spine stuff, making sure you're getting the back. And just stating the intention to clear out your multidimensional connections as well, is going to be really important in the morning time. And so while we're here, I'm going to make sure that we're just clearing out the collective field of this group. Just cleansing any energies, any old energies, any stuck energies, just clearing it from our field. Barakatus orokoshinarate. I'm just clearing this all out. It's going to help to soften the noise of everything that's occurring for all of us right now. So just being mindful of those things. Also, too, I wanted to talk about the physical body, guys. I'm noticing a lot of us are going through a big crunch in the physical body as a result of the clearing. And it's something I've talked about so much, right? The beauty and joy of magnesium. But this is just coming up as a little reminder for all of us to do what we can to soften our physical body while we're going through this level of clearing. So you can think of when we start to get stiff in the muscles, stiff in our joints as a result of the clearing, you can think of it like a closed fist, right? Holding on to programming. And what we want to do is we want to get the body to open up because we can allow what's clearing to unravel at a faster level for all of us as we're maintaining our connection to our higher self, to our soul, to our heart. It's going to be really important for us to focus on that softening of the body and the relaxation to allow everything to shift out that needs to shift out right now. Especially the biggest thing too that's been coming forward for many is that many are trying to push through and just keep working, right? And keep going and keep and trying to just push through, this passageway. And the sooner that we can settle into relaxing the body, getting into a place of peace and neutrality within us, the faster it will clear. And I want to remind everyone of that it's one of those where we all have to navigate on our own individual trajectory how we can just relax and be and still be supported, especially if you're in a big caretaking role, or especially if you are learning more about how to support the physical body, right? So especially if you're in a lot of masculine energy and in that doing energy and getting up and being on the move, we all have to learn how to just lay flat and do nothing and still feel supported in that process, even if that means communicating with people with what's going on. Buenos dias, hola chula. And really just really taking care of ourselves through this process. When it comes to our service roles here, not every one of our service roles requires us to show up on a platform or to show up for others. One of the most important service roles is anchoring light and clearing out our programming. And so when we're going through this big kind of collective transition, can we all begin to view that a really important part of the process is just laying low and being, right? Because there's so much judgment that occurs at a collective programming level regarding doing nothing, right? The thoughts of, oh, I'm being lazy, or I'm not doing enough, or I'm not good enough. Well, all those things are what are important for us to go through and to clear as we are clearing so much heavy density from the collective, and how we just need to lay low and rest, and how that's an important part of service, right? So it's a part of really switching off a lot of that rat race 9 to 5 programming that keeps us just going and not honoring the body as we're clearing. So doing what you can to get your body softened will assist. I've talked about magnesium so much on these live streams and in other videos, and really right now it's the #1 go-to for me. And I'm sure there's others as well. And if people want to share about that in the comments or on the chat, please feel free to share on what assists you in being able to open up the body, and to be able to allow it to relax fully, melt fully, to let go of everything that is clearing. It's going to help us to expedite the process. It's going to help us to speed things up, so we can kind of get back to life, right? Get back to life. And so once again, mentioning the video that I have. Hi, Genevieve. Neutralizing triggers. It will help a lot right now in grounding out our energy body, and in making sure that we're clearing off all those distortions from our field that we might be picking up from collective stuff from others as well. I've noticed that I have a really brief interaction with someone, and then I step away, and like the thoughts start to shift and change, and there's a lot of mental field, a lot of the mental body clearing right now. And so as a result, it's really being mindful of myself, for myself and for all of us, what we're picking up in our day-to-day routine, and that we are honoring our energetic hygiene, right? I noticed actually even last night, I had a few days where my energy systems were nice and open and wide, and energy was flowing through, and I had this really intense burning that was happening through my chakra system, especially a lot of solar plexus stuff, as we're all working on power energies right now. There's been a lot of focus on the solar plexus, and I was going through this really deep burning. And I recognize that at some level, I can do what I can towards opening up my chakras and clearing everything out. But another part of this is just honoring the process and letting it move through how it's supposed to move through. Um, but being very, 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 very mindful of making sure that I'm honoring my energetic hygiene routine and how I can begin to build a better one for myself. So you can also layer these, right? So you can use crystals. So I use my Andaras. You can use smudge. I also am very intentional with my showers. So when you get up and you take a shower in the morning, if you have the physical capability to do that, to get up and to just make sure you're clearing off everything from dream state, right? Make sure you're clearing off any density from the field. And when you begin to layer those on, you're going to find that you're going to be able to maintain a healthier energy body as a result of the clearing. Um, it really is important right now because I've been noticing how noisy it's been getting in the field. And it's been one of those that really can make our process a lot more strenuous. Um, and it can make things almost worse and amplified if we don't clear it off. And then also too is our reality is going to respond to that which we pick up in our field. So if you have something sitting in your field, and it's not properly clear, and then you do have to go out into the world, you can end up calling forward an experience where someone will serve as a trigger to neutralize that or to clear it off of your field. But there's really, for us, it's about making sure that we're grounding out our energy body. Gaia has been a lot of a big focus in grounding out and clearing a lot of these energetics, and making sure that we're maintaining our connections to source, maintaining our connections to the crystalline core of Mother Earth, and honoring that routine is really going to help in stabilizing and in maintaining balance in our own life, especially if you're clairaudient. So for me, I'm clairaudient, and the amount of stuff that I've been hearing is like it could drive someone into a loony bin when you start to hear this stuff. But when you begin to recognize that the collective is clearing this, we're hearing the collective purge, we're hearing our own collective programming clearing as well from our own body, the sooner we can maintain balance through that. And coming into that, I want to mention this. I have tuned into that there's a lot of people who are in really severe emotional distress right now. Okay. A lot of suicidal ideation that occurs through these passageways. And I have to say, we are so blessed as a community of light workers to have so much information available to us on YouTube, people discussing what's going on, that if you or a loved one is having these thoughts of wanting to harm yourself, please reach out or find whatever is appropriate to you to be able to discuss this. Please, please, please. For me, I get my cues through music, and it was a song by Trevor Hall called "We're in a Different Room," and that to me is always my sign that we've got a group of people that are starting to walk out right now, or that are in severe emotional distress, especially when we're working so much with the mental field and clearing out the mental body. This stuff can really make people lose their stuff. And so if you or anyone you know is experiencing this, please, there's hotlines that you can call. There's the, what is it? There's the crisis hotline. There's the suicide prevention hotlines. And what I'm going to do is after this, I will go get the numbers to those hotlines and just post them in the description box. But please, you can also reach out to me, reach out to a friend or a loved one if you need to talk to someone about this. Because I do understand soul contracts and things and that nature. But I feel like that can be almost a cold and bypassing way of being able to honor the compassion we have for humanity when we go into that stuff. And really at the end of the day is, with what's going on in the world, we can all show more compassion for those that are really struggling right now. And so please, if you know anyone that's going through this and you need someone to reach out to, you can reach out to me or reach out to a friend or to a professional. Really important right now to discuss that. Um, there was something else I was going to talk about. What was it? Maintaining peace. Okay. So the biggest thing that's been coming through is making sure we're maintaining peace through this collective purge. As I'm aware of it, it's going to get deeper. So these passageways have been getting longer and a little bit gnarlier in the level that we're clearing, but it is going to go deeper because it really is power on. Let's get as much of this stuff out as possible because that's what the universe is calling forward for us to clear. Okay. So doing what we can to maintain peace and to stabilize in a high vibrational energetic platform for ourselves in our own reality. And what does that mean for you? Well, what's really fun about creation, right, to get excited a little bit about this and bring the vibe up from that discussion is that we can start to build a really fun energy routine for ourselves and begin to build an environment for ourselves that is extremely loving, compassionate, but also in its highest vibrational form. So, what does that mean? It's going to look different for everyone. So, for me, it's making sure that I'm injecting a lot of color into my reality. It's also making sure too that I am so I create playlists. I create music playlists that are making sure that the lyrics are very upbeat and that the programming of the lyrics is that which is going to elevate my mood and elevate my vibration, but I also make sure that the music I'm listening to is very expansive. So I have music playlists that I create for when I need to bring the power on, when I need to go deep into some wounding. I've got heartbreak playlists. I've been one of those my whole life where I've built playlists for myself. And it really is, good morning, Alicia, is for me has been okay, I'm going to create this playlist that's very high vibrational and make sure it's the first thing I listen to in the morning, right? Making sure that I'm starting out the day in that highest vibrational form and making sure I'm flowing out of that collective undertow. And yeah, if things come to the surface that I need to clear, I clear it, but I'm also doing what I can to make sure that I don't stay in the rut or the heaviness of the purge, right? Especially when others around me are purging. Um, have fun with it. Like get into that creative play and getting into that mindset of what can I do to operate in a new way and to kind of levitate over all this stuff that's occurring, right? And it's not over under separation, but it's just making sure we're creating that atmosphere for ourselves of beauty, of magic, especially if we're down low for a little while. I find too that especially in as we are all stepping into more ownership over our creation and what we've been creating collectively and individually in our reality is once again coming back to this being extremely mindful of what we are watching or what we are paying attention to and tuning into and what that does first off to our mental body, what it does to um, our physical body, but also you can feel it in your energy body. If you turn on something that is more of, fear oriented or it's more discordant, you can feel yourself start to like collapse and get a little bit crunchy in the field. And what we want to do is we want to make sure we're staying expanded because when we go through a level of collapse like this, of internal programming and collective realities, what happens is we want to make sure that once we're done with the clearing, we reconnect back to our higher self and we expand back out. So doing what we can to stay in that expanded state beyond having to get complicated with energy routines, right? This can be very grounded and practical. As simple as, you know, having items around you that remind you of play and magic and expansion, listening to good music, cleaning up your home, like this a level of mastery with fueling an expanded state or amplifying an expanded state doesn't always have to be some really huge technical energetic thing where we're working with the Merkaba and the toroidal field, like and working with our chakra system. Like that is important, but we can get very grounded and practical with this, and it's as simple as wake up and dance, right? Like wake up and shake out the energy, get into a stretching routine, doing what you can towards creating that for yourself. And it really is, it's one of those where it's fun because that's a level of creating a support structure for ourselves, but creating that support structure for others. I find that there's a lot of people who have families that are going through the same experience, and they begin to bring the families into this. They bring the kids into this. They bring the husbands and the wives into this. And then the family as a whole, as a unit, can start to build this really cool, support system and this high vibrational environment for themselves, while the collective is going through this. And that amplified light in the familial unit helps to rebuild connections in the family unit, but it also helps to support at a quantum level. Think about what that amplifies through the field and shifts out, especially for our kids right now that are going to be learning more about their energy sensitivities and their abilities and their gifts. It really is important. So doing this is going to help while we're going through this big collective purge. The big thing too for all of us is to rest. Just honor it, honor the process. You don't have to do a whole lot. Um, there's been a big theme in my own life about being a runner. And for anyone that resonates with running, whether it's running from emotions, running from fears, running from others, if you're nomadic like I am, constantly on the go, it's how can we settle into the space of just rest and safety and knowing that the divine is supporting us without having to do anything. And that is an important part of the process. There's been a level of recoding in the body where the body slash universe cannot let us run anymore for those of us that have been doing this level of work. And so while this is going on, if we can maintain that really high energetic vibrational pathway, for ourselves by positive affirmations, the good music, cleaning up your home, cleaning up your diet, doing whatever you need through that process, it really is it's gonna help us all a lot. And I found that my days go a lot better if I don't step into the undertow, especially first thing in the morning. Just making sure that we're maintaining that. What else has been happening? So first off, I want to, for everyone in here right now, and just throughout the day, is really tune in to yourself, tune into your body, right? What does your body need today? What does your mental health need today, right? What does your heart need today? What does your energy need today? And then gifting yourself that through the process. It's going to assist so much because a lot of these big collective purges is at some level we can't provide for ourselves what we need, right? And so more than anything for this was to just stand as a beacon and a remembrance for everyone to go, hey, let's all go in today and let's see, what do we need? What do we need? And let's gift ourselves that. Even if it's something really small or it's a great transition for yourself. Gift yourself what you need because it really is important with alignments that are occurring right now. Another thing too is that if you're feeling like you are out of sync with people in your world, it's because we're all going through a tuning process. So let's imagine that we're all a guitar and the energies came in and it knocked us out of tune. We're in the process of retuning. We're tuning up a couple levels. And so two or more notes that used to play in harmony might not be playing in harmony right now. And so if you feel like you're not resonant with people in your world, right? Family members, loved ones, friends, even people that share messages, like myself on YouTube, just know we're all going through a retuning process. And it might be that we have to let some things go, or it might be that everyone needs to kind of tune up and we'll meet back where we're supposed to meet. It's just a part of the up-leveling of consciousness. It's a part of up-leveling our physical body's vibration and holding a higher level of embodiment. I mean, it's very natural for this to occur. But as a result, if you're feeling out of sync with people in your reality, up might start to come the abandonment wounds. Might to show up the oh no, I'm not loved and I'm not supported thing. And this is where we can begin to start to create a conversation with our inner child. Have a council meeting with your aspects, right? Have a moment to just kind of sit and to let yourself know that you're safe, that you're loved, you're supported. We're just in the process of a transition and things might be out of sync, but it will either retune or it'll realign how it's supposed to. And we will get back to our music, right? That's kind of essentially what I'm saying is we're going to get back to our music. But it does take time. And so as a result, if we can focus that love back in on self, back in our self-care and our self-love, we're going to notice that things will retune quicker. And it's a really important part of us up-leveling. My dear friend Wendy Lou from Parenting Through Ascension just did a video about this, about feeling lonely. And if you want to go to her channel, Parenting Through Ascension, it has a really great description about this whole process and as we're moving into a different room. and what it's like to adjust into a new energetic environment and into a new energetic home, and how we might feel lonely and separated because we're calling forward a new experience, and we're calling forward people that are going to be resonant to this new dimension or this new vibrational bandwidth that we're existing in. But also too, we might be waiting for others to meet us there, that we're in our journey just in this old pathway. We're waiting for them to up level and to realign as well. And so yeah, it's been a very lonely episode here as well. And so it's very normal to feel that, right? But as a result, when we start to step into that loneliness, the deep feelings of abandonment and separation start to occur, right? So this for us is now back to the maintaining that connection. Connect back to the divine. Make sure you're connecting deeper with the higher self, with the soul, with the heart, with your guides, whatever that might be, and feel that support, because it really is important for us to begin to create a level of trust and faith with our universe again. A really deep level of trust and faith, and knowing that no matter what occurs, we're safe, we're supported, we're loved, and we're being guided perfectly. Especially if we're feeling the disconnect from people in our reality. So yes, relationships end. Yes, friendships end. But there's actually, truly, 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 there's never endings, right? It's just new beginnings, and it's evolution, and it's change. And so really one of those to really focus on is, and I mentioned this in a video a little while ago, is are we hearing the cries of the old world that we were a part of, or are we hearing the celebration of the new world that's calling us forward, right? So really making sure that we're mindful of where our perspective is, right? Are we on the loss or are we on the gain? What are we focusing on right now? Going to be very important for creations. Another thing too that came through the other day is to get out a pen and paper and begin to get very real with the things that you are not happy with in your reality, right? Because as we're stepping into another evolution of creation and these new realities, it's being mindful of where we've been creating from the mindscape, or where we've been creating from programming, whether it's individually or collectively, and how that no longer serves, and beginning to let that go. But also, let's begin to highlight. Let's not just look at everything that we don't like in the reality. Let's highlight those things that are working, that are resonant for us, and let's amplify those so we can begin to see where we can begin to color in that magic into our own reality and begin to paint our own picture again, right? So for myself, this came through yesterday, and it was like, Corey, get down, get real with your own creation. It's a part of creation point awareness and the creator consciousness, is being able to say, okay, yeah, I created this, I don't like it, and now I need to do something towards reshaping it, reformatting it, upgrading it, or I need to let it go. And so taking those moments, with that self-care check-in, that's a big part of the one, is getting out a pen and paper and going, okay, what don't I like? What don't I like about my creation? What don't I like about my attitudes? Where am I blocking myself, right? Like being able to really look at what perspective I'm holding and how that's affecting my reality. But also getting very real with myself, with where I'm blocking myself, where I'm not, where I'm suppressing my magic, where I'm abandoning myself, where I'm persecuting myself, where I'm sacrificing too much, right? Looking at all those themes in my life and being able to see, okay, how can I bring this into balance, right? Because the universe is about balance, always about balance. How can I bring this into balance? How can I let go of it? How can I begin the process of allowing the higher light in, forward, and through to begin to disconnect from that level of my reality and offer an upgrade into the way that I view myself and that I interact with the world and interact with others. And so for all of us, it's really important. I truly believe, and this is just my belief system, and I'm going to try not to project it, is for all of us to take ownership over our creations, right? Individually and collectively. And as a result, we can look at our individual reality and begin to paint in a new picture for ourselves. But we can also look at the collective reality and going, where am I still creating this? Where am I still holding this? How can I let it go? And how can I begin to embed more love into the collective realities as well, as everything is shifting and purging and moving around? And so that was another big one for check-in, was to just get out a pen and paper and to get very real with the things that I don't like, and beginning to allow the universe to support me in disconnecting from those things or in realigning them, so I can live in a more harmonious, a more congruent, a more balanced and aligned reality, right? So it's really a big part about soul alignment, is making sure that we're keeping everything soul aligned and that we're paying attention to our own creations, but we're also looking at our templates to recognize what is kind of allowed and not allowed anymore when we shift, Okay, and I want to bring this up now. It's going to be different for various people, but there are certain things based upon the energetic guidelines of the way that we're living our life that we may not be allowed to do anymore. And it's not from a spot of like lack or control, right? It's a part of a process of deprogramming, but it really is dependent upon the work that we're doing, levels of embodiment, mission work, purpose work, so on and so forth. And I had to do this because I recognized that my reality was getting out of whack very, very quickly. And it was important for me to tune in and to go, okay, what are my templates right now? Okay, let's go in. What are my templates? What is allowed? What isn't allowed? And really tuning into those things. So then I can live in a more harmonious world for myself, because there's new energetic guidelines, there's new systems, and for me there was things that I didn't know that I was still propagating and doing that were creating more of a difficult reality to live in. So just another thing to bring up is you can tune in, ask your universe, I'm ready to see what are my templates, right? What am I here to do, right? What am I here to bring forward? What do I need to let go of? And there might be certain behaviors or actions or things like that that you do need to let go of, that aren't serving you right now, that are going to create a more harmonious reality for yourself. So just being very, very mindful of those things. But yeah, let's all just take a moment today to come forward and to check what our needs are, what we need at an emotional level, what we need at an energetic level, what does our mind need, what does our physical body need, looking at the unified self, what does our light body need today, and just gifting ourselves those things, right? Like that's one thing I did yesterday for Mother's Day was I said, Happy Mother's Day to the people that are the mothers in my life, but I also offered me the opportunity to mother myself yesterday, and it was really, it was necessary and it was needed, and we can continue that practice every day, right? We don't have to just do that one time a year, right? Is to celebrate the mother within and the mother without. We can do that every single day. We can honor the mother within and the mother without every single day. We don't have to wait for just one day a year to do that, right? So let's gift ourselves something today, right? Something beautiful, something nice. And maybe if we can even just do one thing nice for someone else today, pay a compliment, give someone a little hug, be kind to someone today. It will really help to shift these things out quicker as we're going through this collective purge. But I feel like we're all in this kind of like isolation phase right now. You even see it here. Everyone's just kind of like within, and when you're around people, you're not really there. You're just kind of like going through this stuff, and just knowing that the doors will open up. We will get back into the flow of things, but to know that we do have a lot more clearing to go through. I'm not sure exactly everything that we're clearing as of yet, because there's so much. I'm not really tuning in to pay attention. And yes, lifting others up does make you feel good. Also, I agree, Lori, because they are an aspect of us, and it really is. It's really important. But we're going to be going through a lot more clearing, right? This whole month is just going to be really big, deep purging. So doing what you can to maintain peace in your reality and to create a beautiful environment for yourself will help. Okay, it will help a lot. So thank you guys for coming out. I think was there anything else I wanted to state? Nope. I think that's it for now. So I'm just gonna scroll through the chat really quick and just see what everyone tapped. Thank you for coming out. This isn't super whatever it is. Yeah, maintain peace but forgive fast. That's a big one. And I keep hearing too, thank you, Genevieve, for saying that forgiveness is a 4-letter word. LOVE. And that's something I keep hearing over and over and over and over and over. Forgiveness is a 4-letter word, and it's love. And so the sooner that we can honor everyone's roles in this too, through the process, and honor ourselves and love others, however that shows up for us, it really will help a lot. There are some people that show up in our world, and I'm noticing this myself right now, that are kind of the tricksters of the reality, that are triggering things within us, and they're God showing up in their form, to show us something, right? And so to know that everyone's got their role, right? Um, everyone's just everyone's got their archetype and everyone's got their symbolism through this, and that's just the way it is. But yeah, a lot's going on, guys. So just make sure that you're doubling down on the self care, the self love, and if you need anything, please reach out. Another level of this too was, um, if there's anything I can do to support you, please reach out on email or leave a comment here if there's some content that you want to see, right? A big part of this isn't just what Corey wants to talk about, but what do you guys want to hear as well? So if there's anything that you would like me to discuss, if there's any energetic tips or guidelines, right, please reach out. I'd love to share about this stuff. It's an important part of creation, but it's an important part of me showing up is that, I can read the collective field with what needs to be discussed, and I can kind of share when I feel called to what I see going on and how we can maintain and balance and remain grounded and practical in what's occurring without having to go just like super esoteric, is how to really ground this practice in for ourselves. But if you need any assistance, like you want me to talk about anything, create a content, or just give you some feedback about something, please reach out to me. My email address is foundersoflight@gmail.com. All my links are in the description box if you want to reach out. And so, yeah, let's all take a moment to just take care of ourselves today. Shift out of this stuff. I'm going to rest for a little while. I still got baggy eyes. I'm still tired from all the clearing that's been going on. So I just want to say really quick, I love you all. Much love and respect to everyone out there. And yeah, we're going to get back. We always are. This is just, it's a part of the process. But let's also keep in focus too for all of us. The things that we're clearing, right? So if we're clearing, there's an ambulance. So timeline collapse. We collapse some timelines. Good. Is that if we look at what we're clearing, right? So like if you're clearing a lot of gaslighting stuff or you're clearing a lot of trauma, what's going to come at the end of that, right? More powers, more gifts, more abilities, standing more in your deep knowing, more of your truth, heart can be open wider. Let's also keep our focus on the lens of, as a result of what's clearing, what's going to come in from what's clearing as well. And that was something that was coming through yesterday really strong, is to, rather than just be like, oh my gosh, I'm clearing this trauma, or I'm clearing this gunk, or I'm clearing, all these war things within me, what is going to happen as a result of this, right? So if we have greater harmony, greater peace, greater love of self, bigger heart, holding more light, holding on to those keys of recognizing that, like, there's what's going to be at the end of the tunnel for ourselves, right? And we can look at it frequency wise. We don't have to look at like, oh, I'm going to have this, or everything that you're going to have. Let's look at the level of embodiment that comes from that, and just know that that's what makes this process worth it, right? But the more that we maintain the connection to our higher self, the connection to the universe, we begin to escape the linearity of the time, and it will go by quicker and shift out quicker for all of us. So let's maintain the connection to the higher self, maintain the connection to the universe, maintain the maintain our connections to the crystalline core of Mother Earth, and let's keep honoring our empathic boundaries. It will help. So I love you guys. And with that, I am out of here, and I will see you guys soon.